I'm an underdog. I'm actually an underdog's underdog. What if I told you that being an underdog is not just about losing? Right? What if I told you that being an underdog is about putting up a good fight in a world that doesn't want you to win? You see, how many of us have ever cheered for the underdog? Who has a favorite underdog story? Whoever cheered for the nerdy underdog? No, the kid that geeks out over tech in a world that tells him that being a nerd and geeking out isn't cool. It's tough, right? See, when I think about that, I think about Miles Morales, Victor Stone, Shuri. Now, these aren't just superheroes. They resemble my students, students from underserved communities. And they're real-life X-Men, right? And I say this because they're brilliant, but they're often overlooked, underestimated, and excluded from society. And I know this because I was one of them. Well, not an X-Men, but I was one of the students in these communities. And this is a harsh reality in our communities, right? The community where I grew up in, the community where my students are from. And the harsh reality is that survival comes before school. Some of us have friends, right? In these communities, some of us have friends where we can get a gun faster than we can get a job. It's unfortunate. We see drug dealers in our neighborhoods living a better life than college graduates. A lot of us in these communities have friends and families who do not get to make it, who do not get a chance to geek out. And it's not because they don't deserve a spot. It's not because they're not qualified. It's because there's a system that was built around them that does not want to see them win. And it's really hard because in 1993, there was a report that was released. It highlighted the deep issues in Providence public schools. In 2019, a similar report was released. And what we saw is that nothing changed. Nothing changed over those years. It was just a broken down system that was stuck in the past, while our students was working in the future. And it's tough because we have over 30,000 students in urban core cities, right? Over 30,000 students that look like me, students that look like our families, Black and brown students who are at risk at being left behind in a tech-driven world. But what do we have to do? I say let's flip the script. Let's turn geeking out, let's turn that into a phrase that's not just about something that you do. Let's turn it into an opportunity for students. Let's tell them that this is a way to unlock their future. Because geeking out can mean several different things, right? Geeking out can mean taking ownership of your learning. Geeking out can take curiosity and turn it into a power. And geeking out isn't about what you know, right? But geeking out can be about how you change the future. In our neighborhoods, we look up to rappers, right? Sometimes these rappers, the content that they put out, it's not all the greatest, but we idolize the content they put out. We look up to the content they put out, and we listen to it. But what we don't know is that artists like JayZ. JayZ geeked out when he was a kid. He used to often read the dictionary, and build his vocabulary. And after he built his vocabulary, he built an empire. Did you know Cardi B geeks out over history and politics and self-education? 2 Chainz, he went from the streets to graduating college with a 4.0 GPA. My passion started in Radio Shack. I started geeking out in Radio Shack. And it was tinkering with circuits that I couldn't afford while Biggie's Ready to Die played in the background. And it was there where it was my turning point. It's there where I kind of lost myself, and I knew that the world went beyond my neighborhood. It was an opportunity for me to find myself and build things with my mind and my hands. I come from a very similar background as my students in these neighborhoods. My parents are immigrants. They came into this new world trying to navigate themselves around everything while they made sure that they gave me a shot, right? And my students' families go through the same thing. And I say this because it is challenging out there, right? But we have to look into what we have in our neighborhoods. One of the great leaders in my neighborhood says, if you take ownership and passion, you create the foundation for an incredible learning experience. Another great leader nicknamed our state Silicon Road. Another leader talked about how we need to close the gaps. And if we don't close the gaps, we're going to fail our students. So I took all of this, concocted, made a nice concoction, and I created Mind Blast XR. It's a way for students to geek out. It's a way for students to hone in on their passion and also give back to their community. So every April, students have to make a choice. I have 50 students from underserved communities who sacrifice their April vacation to learn how to design, to learn how to build, and create virtual reality worlds. Take Sophia Academy, for example, an all-girls school from Providence who decided to create a virtual reality world highlighting healthcare disparities. San Miguel, a group of boys decided to create a virtual reality world highlighting the lack of teachers of colors because they understood the importance of having teachers that look like them in their classrooms. And it doesn't just stop there. I have a student who traveled to Cambodia with his family and decided to create a digital version of that country. And what he did, he programmed the characters to talk about the history of Cambodia, to preserve the history all through technology. And the fight doesn't just stop here, right? What we need to do, that we need to tell kids that being a nerd is not an insult, it's a power. It's a key to opportunity, right? Because innovation fuels social mobility. And through this, we create opportunities for underdogs like myself and my students. My name is Juan Rodriguez, and I created Winner Circle. It's a space for students to come out and geek out, to find themselves with a group of innovators and a group of leaders. So I'm asking you, find one student, empower that student, and let them know that being a nerd is cool. So I'm asking you all, let's geek out, let's break barriers, and let's change the game. Thank you.